guys, Gabriel from Ungraceful Toader, and today I have a video I've been really excited to do for you. For a long time, I finally managed to acquire a Hashirama Senju by Tsume for a decent price. So this piece was released in July 2017 and has an edition size of 2000 with no exclusive. So before we have a look at the piece, let's take a quick look at the box. So on the front we have this really nice print here, sort of very premium looking with the black and this slightly gold yellow with Hashirama Senju, and then this says Wooden Golem Jutsu in Japanese, and then we have this nice sticker here of the Senju clan, our high quality range Tsume, the logo, and the Naruto Shippuden logo. And on either side, as well as on the top, you have another repeat of the Tsume logo, and then we have this nice band here, which is obviously the Leaf Village logo, and then the Tsume art sort of fading out as we go up there. On the back here again, his name, Wooden Golem Jutsu, high quality pieces from the Tsume art, a big picture of him there, some close-ups, and some information on him, sort of going on about what they think of him and sort of his history, but I'll go over more of his history in far more detail than this a bit later on once we've got the piece out. So let's move on and open it up, shall we? So looking down here, you can just see top written here and the Tsume art logo carved out into the polystyrene here, so that's a really nice touch. So let's open it up, shall we? So for anyone wondering how to get it back in the box if you're trying to resell it, here's the guide for you. The dragon here with the back here, it's spikes over here, and then Hashirama himself and the bits in the base here. So before we look at that though, we of course have a certificate of authenticity here. The nice gold trim, this nice certificate, it's hard to come up on camera, but there's HQS Tsume art written in the middle there. And then we also have our instructions. So that's a quick look up in the box. I'm going to open them up and let's start putting them together. I'm back after putting them together, and I must say the magnets on this piece are absolutely phenomenal. Did a really good job. Everything just clicked together really nice, no problems whatsoever. So before we get into the statue and the more review stuff like the measurements and taking a closer look, I want to give you some quick information on Hashirama here. So Hashirama Senju, also known as the god of Shinobi. Now, he got that title during the wars between clans, particularly between the Uchiha and Senju clan, which then went on for him to form the first village, one of the first villages being the Leaf Village, in which he became the Hokage. So within that, as an effort to keep peace, he then spread the tail beast among the different villages, hoping that if he split them between the villages, the sort of equal power split, if you will, would stop people wanting to go to war. Obviously that wasn't true. So obviously as a god of Shinobi, he's got some amazing techniques on his hands, one of which is what is pictured here, which is the Wooden Golem Jutsu. Now, this is said to have this equal power to the Nine Tails, which is just absolutely insane to think. And as you'll see in the anime and in the manga, he stops the tail beast bomb of the Nine Tails under the control of Madara with this jutsu, which is just mind-bogglingly strong. But of course we know that because the wooden star, we only see it from two characters, Hashirama and Yamato, and it's also used when it's given to Naruto to act as a hand. It meant they could just stick on a load of extra powers to Naruto's kit because it's such an incredibly powerful set of chakra nature. So wood releases, no messing around. So not only is it capable of fighting with the Nine Tails, it can also go toe to toe with the Susanoo, which is again an incredibly powered technique of the Uchiha clan. And again, he fights Madara in his Susanoo mode using this jutsu. And to give you a good idea of just how powerful this isn't even his strongest jutsu. Obviously that title goes to the true several thousand hands technique, which he uses, which is both an offensive and defensive jutsu, which goes even further beyond the power of this one. So this jutsu is formed using the snake hand symbol, which you can see on Hashirama there. It's sculpted to him to be summoning it using the snake hand symbol, and it can manifest in this way. I'll show you a picture of it as a giant with this dragon wrapped around it, or as multiple exploding dragon heads, or just a set of limbs, depending on how long the user has to summon said piece of kit. So that's pretty much it for me on this particular Jutsu on Hashirama. Obviously, the only character I think who comes close to his power level is, of course, the main character of the series, Naruto. Naruto in his current state is so incredibly powerful that to compare him to the other Hokages is almost a waste of time. He is just incredibly powerful, and to think that it's taken this many generations to get someone even close to Hashirama, I guess you could argue Minato came close to Hashirama's power level, shows you just how amazing this guy was, that we've gone through generations of Shinobi without anyone coming close. So, with all that said, hopefully you've learned a bit, and let's go take a closer look at the model itself. So I'd like to start off by saying this piece has incredible presence, and while we're on that topic, the tallest point being this dragon stands at nearly 50 centimetres, which is about 19.5 inches there. And his widest point is about 15 inches, which is about 38 centimetres. And his depth is about, again, 15.5 inches, which is about 39 centimetres. So going off of that, you can tell this piece is absolutely massive, and there's a really great weight to it, as you expect from a resin piece. And there's no part of it that I don't love. I love how this big golem face, it reminds me of sort of like a classic fantasy orc look. It's got these huge teeth, this big round nose, these angry eyebrows. All the wood sculpted up gives it a really jaggedy, aggressive looking face. It looks absolutely awesome. As you spin it around, we see its pointed ears, the spikes here coming out the top of its head. And that's only beginning, because then we move on to the dragon, who is in himself. He's quite a strange looking dragon. There's lots of spines going on. The way the wood forms, again, giving it a sort of scaly appearance, of course, brilliant for a dragon. Again, this has a great face to it. There's this big sort of strange shaped nose here with this crooked shape here. These big sort of eyebrow spikes coming on. These sharp teeth, these huge teeth down here at the front. And this great tongue, again, with the rough wood shape inside of it, to give it a lot of character, and these bright yellow eyes. And speaking of eyes, as you can see here, here's the glow in the dark. Now, I think my connection's a bit low, so I need to mess with that. But as you can see, both sets of eyes will glow. I've got to mess with that. I think one of the batteries might be flat or something. But both sets of eyes will glow, and these are really yellow in person. The yellow light in the back is throwing it off a bit, but these are really bright yellow. They look really good. I'm not really one for light ups, but I really like how this looks. So, sort of, that's kind of it for what I want to talk about on the base. Everything about it's huge, massive demand space, it's got presence, and the design, I love the design of both the golem and the dragon. They're both unique, they both use the wood texture to really over-accentuate the character of this sort of aggressive look, and I think it's done phenomenally well. Talked about earlier, the piece has amazingly strong magnets throughout, on both the spikes on the dragon's head, the way that dragon clicks into the base. Hashirama himself is just pinned to the base, but all the spikes and all the magnets and the battery cover down there, and all these spikes are all done really well. The magnets are all super strong. They almost fly out your hands and grab at your hands, so be careful when you're putting them in. But on a design and sort of put together point of view, it works really well. So in my excitement, I almost forgot to pull this out the box. This is the Hashirama plate, and you might just make it out. This is number 918 of 2000. Let's pull that down there. And this aesthetic is continued throughout. As you will see down the bottom here, we also have a Leaf Village logo and Hashirama there, and this nice detailing along the edge of the base there. So let's take a look at Hashirama himself. So Hashirama himself, great sculpt here with the hair flying up in the air. You can feel the anger and emotion coming from him. So in his sculpt, you can see this great battle armor again flying up. Lots of motion captured here. He has this great sage art paint. Well, it's not face paint, but it comes on when the sage art is activated. Obviously, they get these marks on their face, and he's got these great painted on eyes and this circle. There's all this details done phenomenally. All the hair must be a shipping nightmare, but it all came through really well. All these little individual shots all painted really great, with some battle damage here throughout the armour, and some nice shading throughout here too, both on the skin and the fingers and the armour itself. And on sort of underneath the armour, this sort of lighter material he's got going on, which again has some really nice shading throughout here on the knees, in the crotch region, and here at the elbows. And then as we spin around, we can also see his Senju clan crest just there on his arm and shoulder, and then as we spin the piece around we can see his giant skull, which you can only assume is both for his summoning and other jutsu. And then you see the detail throughout again is continued both in the wraps around the legs and the sandals there. Again, as I spoke about before, in his hands and his face, all the shading, all the paintwork is done phenomenally, and his hair. The hair and the motion in the armour I think really gets the scene captured to go with the presence of a creature he summoned. He really does fit in with his creature. You can tell he's someone not to be messed with. So as you can probably tell from how I'm just gushing over the detail of his piece, it looks absolutely amazing. I can see how some people may say, if they saw this piece and had no idea about Naruto, oh yeah, but the shading on the base is really minimal, but this is how the wood jutsu looks. And I think the sculpt, even if the paint was just a solid green, would still look awesome. All this detail, you can really see the anger in the Golem's face all captured brilliantly. The dragon sort of roaring over the top, it looks great, and Hashirama himself fits in perfectly. The fierce warrior and his fierce technique. And then our nice sort of details here on the base, our nice little plaque, all comes together to give you a great package. This piece is both huge and everything about it is absolutely beautiful. No wasted space, no wasted colour. Everything's done exactly to the degree you'd expect. Tsume Art really did an amazing job on this piece. I think just Hashirama by himself would make a brilliant piece, but with this huge ensemble here, it's almost like a diorama, and it's absolutely amazing. I cannot stress enough as a Naruto fan how great this piece is. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed one of my first large resin reviews. I'm very afraid for my wallet for what the future holds, but as long as they're all up to this quality, I won't be disappointed. So thank you all for watching once again. Let's give them one last spin. There's another quick look. Just amazing. Just a really great piece full of a lot of character and a lot of story. And if you know anything about Hashirama, I think you'll be blown away by this piece. In person, I feel like you don't get a grip of just how big this piece is. Actually, maybe this will give a better idea of how large this piece is. It's nearly as wide as I am, and it's just massive. Just an absolutely massive and impressive piece. So maybe that'll give you an idea of presence. If not, maybe I'll just look like an idiot. But either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.